Hi, I'm Tony Kerr from Match Fishing Magazine, and you join us here today at the wonderful Alders Farm Fishery, where we've come to have a look at a product that the guys at Middy have been asking us to take a look at for a while. This is the GFD 4000 reel. There's two reels in the range, a 3000 and this one, the 4000. All designed for primarily commercial fishery tactics. So the 3000 reel, perfect for feeder fishing on small snake lakes, small commercial lakes, pellet waggler fishing and all that kind of stuff. This one slightly larger, so probably a little bit more of a feeder reel where you want to fish a little bit further, or if you want to catch big weights of big fish. As you can see, the reel has a really nice lightweight body to it. Really nice looking piece of kit, and for a reel that costs under 80 quid, absolutely fantastic so far. I'm really impressed with my initial impressions of it, and eventually we're going to see what it's like in a fishing situation. So just to have a look at a few of the key features of the reel, it's got a really nice smooth front drag system on it, which with a small turn of the front drag, you can go from a really slack drag to a drag that you're more likely to want to play your fish off. So it's ideal if you're getting violent bites and all that kind of thing. It's got a low friction line roller on it, which is going to be a lot kinder on your line. It's got a really nice one-touch folding handle, which makes packing the rod away in a ready rod sleeve nice and tidy. Nice little anti-reverse lever on it, which I'm a big fan of playing the fish off the anti-reverse, so that's always a plus to me. Nice line-friendly line clips. Again, when you're fishing on commercials, you could be casting regularly, so the line's going to be coming into impact with that quite often. So it's just a nice little feature which is going to ensure that you don't suffer those annoying crack-offs which can really hamper your day. The reel itself has a gear ratio of 5.2 to 1, so there's plenty of winding power there, and it's got 6+1 ball bearings. So as you can see, for, like I say, a reel that costs under 80 quid, it's a fantastic piece of kit and there's a lot of features for your money. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this set up and we're going to see how it performs in a fishing situation. Right, so I've tackled up my rod for the day. Got the GFD 4000 reel, loaded this with 8-pound M-Tech commercial carp line. Nice and strong, it's not going to let you down. Like I say, you're going to be casting in and out quite a lot on these type of venues, so something that's nice, hard-wearing and durable is going to cut down on a lot of the problems that you might have. The rod itself is the Arcotech extender carp feeder rod. This is an 10-11 foot rod, so basically I've got, because we're not casting too far today, got it set up at 10 foot. It's plenty for what we want to do with it. But if I did have to cast a little bit further to an island, it's a simple case of just taking the rod apart at the butt, popping that in, and that gives you a different length of the rod. And similarly, if I was fishing further out and then I wanted to come down the edge later in the day or something like that, just take that out and the rod's a little bit more manageable. So fantastic versatile piece of kit. Feeder, I've got just an inline 30-gram gripper method feeder on there. Again, we're fishing near an island today, so having the lead moulding as it is on these gripper method feeders is going to keep it on that island slope and keep me where my bait is, and I'm going to get a bite a lot easier. So that's the setup. We've got, like I say, just an inline method feeder setup, little bead, 4-inch hook length, size 14 hook with a little bait pin on it, and that's it. We've got just some micro pellets, a few wafters for hook baits. We've also mixed up a bag of the Adrenaline Mega Bait green betaine ground bait. Again, like I say, you're going to fish out in the lake, coming into the autumn now, so we want a little bit of option when it comes to bait. Some days they're going to want ground bait, some days they're going to want pellets, and it also gives us the opportunity to feed a little bit of bait in the edge later on, so it gives us a few more options like that. So that's enough talking about it. Let's go and catch some fish. So we've been fishing for a little while now, and like I say, it's a nice simple setup that we got. Extender feeder rod, GFD 4000 reel, little tiny method feeder with little pink wafter hook baits. We've been fishing out to the island there, clipped up just sort of like just to the left of the gap in between the two islands. Really simple stuff. There seems to be plenty of fish around, so what I'll do is I'll chuck this in. Just out there, and I've even been having a few just as I've been sinking the line, so fish are still quite warm, even though like we're nearly in November now. Still quite warm and the fish are feeding well, so it's not quite winter mode yet. But like I say, I think a good point to note is that I haven't gone completely to my maximum, so stayed away from the island a little bit to give myself somewhere to go. Obviously this time of year, giving yourself options is quite an important thing, so starting slightly away, giving yourself somewhere to go, moving slightly tighter to the island is always a good move. And similarly, having like 2 or 3 different spots on the go. Obviously we got a little bit of room today, so I'm able to start run fishing at the moment, but with the same clip I'm just off to the tree on the right hand side of the island, so you know it can be good if you there's a bite, another fish there. So if you do find that the fishing's a little bit more difficult, you can sort of like catch one fish off that line, and then your next cast you can have it on another line. So it can be a good way of just keeping bites coming when the fish won't necessarily settle over an amount of bait and take the hammer that they do in the summer months when they really come and take you on. Like I say, I mean, so far really impressed with the GFD 4000 reel. There's so much power, winding power in the reel, the drag silky smooth, and it's been an absolute pleasure to use. I think at its price point the reel was absolutely outstanding, and I'm not sure whether you'd find something as good or better anywhere on the market. So if you're looking for some real workhorse reels that are going to do a little bit of everything on commercial venues, then I definitely recommend checking them out in your local Middy stockist. The rod as well, absolutely love using this rod, it's fantastic. I've used this rod a couple of times now. There you go, it's a drag taking effect. You can tell it's still warm because they've certainly got their fighting capabilities still about them. They're not gone completely lethargic yet. So as you can see, just keeping the rod down low, just trying to just take a few turns of the reel when you can, just keep it coming in your direction. Normally if you get them coming your way, they generally come in pretty easily. Just feel it, the line plinking off its fins a little bit there. You always think you've lost it for a second, but certainly is having a go at this one. Most of the fish we've caught today have been sort of 3 or 4 pound. You know, that's a really nice size of fish to be catching on feeder gear, because they sort of gang up a little bit you can get quite a few of them in your peg at the same time. I think this one could be a little bit bigger than what we've been catching, so yeah, a little bit bigger. Just very, very strong. There we go. Oh, terrible bit of netting. Get him on the second one. There we go. Definitely a bit bigger, that one. There we go. Just unhook him. Get out there. I'll try if he behaves. Pick him up and show you that one. Probably won't have it, but there you go. Look. There you go. Lovely Alders Farm carp. Typical of what you can expect to catch here. So what we do is we get him back and see if we can catch another one. There we go. Literally just chuck that feeder back out. Just sinking a line below the surface. So we've got a few drifting leaves around today. Just felt the line all pull tight against my finger, so probably only been fishing for a couple of hours today, and we've probably caught around 30 carp. Most of them sort of 3 to 4 pounds, something like that. So we obviously had plenty of bites and great opportunity to see exactly what the guys at Middy were talking about with the GFD 4000 reel. So it's been a fantastic little session. There's a little common there just to finish the day up. There we go. Nice little common. Probably one of the smaller fish we've caught today. But nevertheless, we've had a fantastic day's fishing. The reel, at its price point, I would say that you're going to struggle to find a competitor out there for a reel like this. If you're looking for a reel that does a lot of your general commercial fishery work, like on venues like this, where you ain't got miles and miles of water in front of you to cast or anything like that, you might do a bit of pellet waggler fishing, bit of bomb fishing, bit of feeder fishing. Can't really fault them. The drag's been silky smooth. Everything about the reel, the winding power, everything you look for in a reel is here, and at under 80 quid, can't really knock it. So if you're interested in these reels, take a look at them in your local Middy stockist or check out middytackle.com.